You keep breaking your rules, your trading plan, and that's why you're stuck and you're always never going to reach your trading goals. And in this video, I'm going to talk about why this happens and how to avoid it so that you can actually finally overcome and beat this. Because this is the thing that a lot of people have to deal with. And it goes like this, okay? The market is an environment that is absolutely full of freedom. There are no boundaries or no guardrails within the market. You see, it's different to your normal society, where in your normal society, you go to work or you go to school, you go to college, you have to be at places at certain times, you go for lunch at 12, you have conditions, you have rules, which have been imposed to you for your benefit by the powers that be. Does that make sense? So, like, you're not meant to drive fast in a car, okay? Or you get a speeding ticket. If you hurt somebody else, you're going to go to jail. If you steal something from a shop, if you go shoplifting, you will go to jail. There are consequences for your actions in normal society. And that's all you've ever known your whole life. You were born with that. And then you bring that conditioning and that mentality of always being told what to do by somebody else. Do you understand what I'm saying? Into a trading environment, into the market environment where it's completely different. See, in the market, in the stock market, the Forex market, the crypto market, whatever market you're trading, futures, the market is there and it is the ultimate freedom of expression. There are no rules. You can trade all day, every day if you wanted to. You can do whatever the hell you want to, whenever you want to. There's nobody going to be there to tell you not to take a trade, not to revenge trade, not to break your rules. And because of this is why you break your rules, because nobody's telling you. You don't have the discipline. You see, discipline is what gives you freedom. So you think that trading is going to give you freedom because you want freedom in your life, yet you have no discipline with the way you execute, the way you follow through on your trading plan, the way you carry yourself in all areas of your life. You don't have any structure. You don't have structure to your day. You don't have structure to your trading strategy. And because of that, you do whatever you want. You take trades whenever you want. You revenge trade. You make things up. And because of that, it creates inconsistent behavior. And then your results are inconsistent. Do you see? You don't even have a checklist, or you don't have a checklist that you follow. See, if you want to have consistency in the same trade setup, so if you want to repeat the same trades and get your edge to play out over a series of trades, you have to, first of all, create a checklist. Now, the checklist can be in Notion. It can be even on a piece of paper. But the key to your checklist is sticking to it, and also making the checklist as simple as possible so that you actually follow through on it, so that you stick to it. Because if your checklist is too complicated, you're not going to stick to it. You're going to skip over it because there's too much friction. Okay? So you need to create a checklist so that you know what to look for every time, so that you repeat the same thing every day. Okay? And you're not making things up. Sometimes you get confused and you don't even know if you should be buying or selling, or if you should be fading or trading out of a point of interest, because you confuse these things, because now you don't know what an A plus setup looks like versus your C plus or C setup. You are confusing the two. And then when you confuse the two, you're not going to get consistent results. So like one day you're trying to take an A plus setup, and then the next day it's a C setup. No wonder your results are all over the place. And so what happens is you're breaking your rules because you're not in control of your emotions. Maybe you are making more than one trade in a day. Maybe you're taking too many trades within a day, and anything after your first trade becomes emotional because now you haven't spent a good amount of time creating that trading plan for that second trade for that day. You see? And you're either trying to trade because the first trade was a win, so now you're greedy, so you're not thinking straight, or your first trade was a loss and now you want to fix it because your ego is butt hurt, and so you are revenge trading technically. And if you do any of those two, fear and greed, if that's what's making your decisions, then you're not going to make rational decisions. You're not going to make the best decisions, and you're going to bend your rules. All of a sudden, your checklist doesn't matter. You don't care about your entry anymore. You're just in a place where you want to get back at the market, so you're just going to take whatever trade. So now you're going to take a C setup. And so what happens is a lot of you guys show up and you're thirsty. You're desperate to get a trade because maybe you don't like your situation. You don't like your job. Somebody told you that you can flip a small account and that it's a good idea. And you see, whoever told you to flip a $100 account into $1 million did it from a place of abundance. They didn't need $1 million. They already had $1 million. Does that make sense? So that guy that did that flip wasn't trading from survival or desperation. But now because you saw that $100 flip to $1 million, okay, you now think that you can do it, but you're doing it from a place of survival and lack. You're doing it from a place of, I have to get out of this position in my life. I don't like where I am, so all I have is $100, and I'm going to risk 50% of that capital per trade. And then you blow your account, right? Where you should have just spent that $100 and bought yourself a prop account and traded carefully and, stuck to the rules, stuck to the trading rules, and took your time. But instead, you're too hungry to succeed, and you don't want to do the hard work. You're not patient, so you're going to rush your trades. You're trading out of desperation, and then you're fearful because you're either risking too much or you're hesitating. There's just something not right within your psychology. And because of that, now you're breaking your rules because you're all muddled up. You're fuzzy. You're not thinking straight anymore. You've already forgotten what your A plus setup looks like. You already forgot what your checklist, where your checklist is. You're not even looking at the checklist. You forgot you had a checklist. So then what happens is you end up taking any random trade. You're improvising, and you don't take your A plus setup. Instead, you take a C setup or a D setup, something really terrible that's like against your trading plan. And then to top it off, that trade loses. And now you are chasing that trade, trying to fix it because you don't have a one trade per day rule because you allowed yourself to take more than one trade. So now you're trying to fix that trade. And because of that, you're trying to fix that trade. You're chasing a C trade. This is where it goes wrong. This is the beginning of the end because you're married. Your ego has been married to making that trade win. You got to be right, even though it was a bad trade to begin with. So now you're just breaking all your rules and you're just in a downward tilt, chasing your way to the bottom. And I've been there. I know this because I think a lot of people have, including you. But I want you to understand this so that you can call yourself out, because at the end of the day, it's just you and yourself in the market, right? Hopefully you can hear my voice in your head talking to you when you're sitting in front of your trades. You can hear me speaking to you directly, right? Telling you not to rush into the trades. But the thing is, from the market is chaotic. It looks hectic. It looks like chaos, right? So out of chaos, you have to create order. From chaos to order. And you do that by having a structure, a strict routine, a clear trading plan, a checklist that you live and die by every day. Because that is what's going to save you. Not some guru in a Lambo posting trades to show you his, that he can trade and how much he's made. That doesn't help you, right? The thing that will help you is the structure, because the market is so free to do whatever you want without structure, without guardrails. You're not going to have the discipline to survive long term. And if you don't have the discipline, you're never going to get the freedom that you're chasing, that you want, the freedom that you are doing all of this to achieve in the first place. You're not going to get it. So it's so important that you create your system. You see, your system, your trading process and your system is more important than your strategy. You can have the best strategy, but if you don't have the right system to force you to execute that strategy in the right way, in the best possible way, it's not going to work. The strategy is not going to work. And the system is a way of how you analyze and process your trades, your thought process, what you look for, your higher time frames, your low, everything, the whole thing, right? You need not only a system to help you keep in check with your trading, but you need a system to manage your emotions and your mindset. That's what my course, the Inner Edge Pro, is all about. It's the first link in the description. We go in and we have a system to manage your emotions when you take a loss, so you don't revenge trade, so you don't rush into the next trade. We have systems in place so that you stop obsessing over charts, that you can just take a trade and close the chart and not look at it again until the next day. Because if you keep opening your chart and keep opening your phone and looking at your trade while it's running, you're going to have more emotions to deal with, and then you're going to do stupid things like you're going to close your trade early. You're going to move your stops. You see, all of these things are part of the system. So this is what it's all about, right? And so if you want to have freedom in your life from trading, then you're going to have to be ruthless with your discipline, your routine, your structure, and your system. That's the only way out. Discipline will give you the freedom that you want. Okay? I want to see you guys win. I want to see you win, especially you. Okay? And you just need to hear this laid out in simple English, right? If your trading plan, if you can't write it, your trading plan on your hand, on the back of a name card, on the back of a coaster, then your trading plan is too complicated and you're just going to get confused, right? So you need to have a trading plan and your trading edge. You need to be able to write it out in a couple of sentences and be done. Keep it simple and sharp and effective, right? I want to see you win. And these are the small things that are going to get you there. You don't need to see me showing you how I trade. That doesn't do anything for anybody, okay? I'm here to help you to learn how to think, how to look at the markets, how to process your thoughts. Because your thoughts, your mind is 90% of trading. The actual strategy, the entry model, all of that nonsense, that's only 10%. That's the last thing you need to learn. That's the smallest thing you need to learn, right? You need to learn how to manage yourself. You need to learn how to manage your emotions. You need to learn how to focus and concentrate on what is important and how to stick to the plan and not go off on a tangent. These are the things that you need to master. This is mastery. This is the final boss level stuff that you need to learn. And this is what I'm trying to teach you, trying to get you to understand, because this is what's important. Okay? If you're new to my channel, go ahead, like and subscribe. Drop your comments below. Let me know how long you've been trading, what you're dealing with. You know, if you are struggling with sticking to your trading plan, let me know. Okay, you don't need to feel bad about it. The first step to getting better is to admitting the problem and realizing an awareness of that problem. Because once you know, then you can start to work on it. And if you want to go deep, if you really want to work on it, check out the link in the description. Okay, I'm going to love you and leave you. Until the next video, you're on your own. Take care now. Goodbye.